A man with fiery red hair reveals a massive, intricate tattoo covering his entire back. Covered in blood, he raises his fists, declaring his life is over and that he now belongs to the dark. We cut to a snowy reformatory as someone reveals a shocking truth. That guy is the son of the BIO Corporation. Inside the towering prison, it's explained that everyone in the reformatory knows who he is. A group of inmates question this, wondering why someone with such a powerful background would end up in a place like this. One of the inmates begins to explain. The others listen in disbelief. He recounts the brutal fates of those who fought him before: a broken neck, a blinded eye, and even a trip to the university hospital for an abdominal guts prolapse. Guts prolapse? Yes, he clarifies. The man was hit in the guts until they literally prolapsed. And that's that. The explaining inmate clarifies that because of his insane reputation, no one dares to segregate him, so he was put in a single detention room. He smirks, adding that despite being a wicked man, he's still the eldest son of BIO. But another inmate scoffs, saying the red-haired inmate isn't a problem anymore. So what's changed? The real problem now are two guys named Yu Ki-bok and Jo Yang-pyo, who are causing chaos on social media. They're from the MMA rising scene, friends who came to Korea, caused trouble, and ended up right here in this reformatory. First there's the blonde brawler Yu Ki-bok, and his partner, the bald kicker, Jo Yang-pyo. These two monsters entered the Round 8 Heavyweight Rising League at just 18, but even their fighting skills couldn't keep them from ending up behind bars. So what exactly did these two MMA prodigies do to get thrown in here? The answer is sickening. They brutally attacked an 80-year-old woman. The other inmates are disgusted. Even among criminals, some lines should never be crossed. The old woman died from her injuries, and the only reason these monsters are in a reformatory is because they're underage. He then mentions that a certain Halu has already arrived, leaving the others confused. He warns that those two shouldn't be left alone, claiming they're even worse than other notorious inmates. The other prisoners are terrified by the implication, because as he puts it, the battle has already begun. And everyone is waiting to see if the legendary red-haired inmate can take down both MMA fighters by himself. The cold snow falls on the reformatory. Just then, a transport bus cuts through the blizzard, pulling up to the reformatory gates. The brakes screech in the snow. A guard immediately starts barking orders for the new arrivals to get out. The first set of feet hits the ground, followed by a second. And we finally lay eyes on the infamous MMA prodigies, starting with the blonde brawler Yu Ki-bok. And right behind him, the bald kicker, Jo Yang-pyo, looks just as arrogant. They're already complaining about the situation, completely unimpressed by their new home. A guard impatiently orders the two monsters to follow him inside. And from his solitary cell, a lone figure watches, the storm outside matching the one brewing within. The red-haired inmate's eyes are locked on the new arrivals, an unblinking predatory stare. As they're led across the yard, the two MMA fighters walk with an air of total dominance. But then, Jo Yang-pyo seems to notice something. He's spotted the lone figure watching them from above. He scoffs in disbelief. "What? That bastard?" He's locked eyes with the man in the solitary window. The red-haired inmate doesn't even flinch. Completely unimpressed, Jo Yang-pyo smirks, calling him a dull-headed man with a ridiculous face. And with a final, defiant gesture, he makes it clear he's not afraid of any prison legend. Inside, the new arrivals begin their processing, ordered to strip down. They're handed their new identity, a standard-issue prison uniform. As Yu Ki-bok takes off his shirt, he reveals a muscular back covered in ink. Jo Yang-pyo smirks, casually suggesting they should probably get a shower in first. But the guard is in no mood for their arrogance, yelling at them to hurry up and follow him. They're rushed to the showers and given a strict time limit, 5 minutes. The guard barks at them to be quiet, but then makes a critical mistake. He leaves them unsupervised to run to the office. He walks off thinking that these two need to be monitored strictly, completely oblivious to the opportunity he just created. Because someone else has been waiting. A new face with intense eyes and wild red hair appears from around the corner. And he's making his move. Inside, the two MMA prodigies are completely oblivious, enjoying the hot water while the red-haired inmate watches from the entrance, his presence completely unnoticed. His eyes are cold, calculating. With a single deliberate twist, he shuts off the main water valve. The flow stops instantly. Yu Ki-bok snaps his head up, annoyed. "What's up?" Jo Yang-pyo is just as confused, wondering why the water suddenly cut out. A voice cuts through the steam. "Assholes like you don't need to bathe. Garbage remains rotten and disgusting even when it's clean." They whip around to see the very man Jo Yang-pyo had mocked earlier. He stares them down, and with a single word reveals the identity everyone has been whispering about. Halu. Jo Young-pyo's face contorts with rage as he realizes, "Damn it! You're the one who locked the water faucet!" Halu smirks, confirming their accusation. "Yup, I don't want to waste water on nasty guys like you." The two MMA prodigies just stare, completely unfazed. He stands between them, a lone figure against two monsters, and continues his taunt. "You're absolute scum, and you still want to bathe?" Yukibok breaks into a condescending grin. "Wow, listen to this guy. He's got some nerve, doesn't he?" Jo Young-pyo joins in, mocking Halu. "You want to fight? Do you have any idea who you're provoking right now?" Halu's voice is cold and steady as he replies, "Yes, I know." He clenches his fist, his eyes burning with righteous fury. "You're the ones who have no humanity." And before they can even react, Halu explodes forward, launching a brutal punch straight at Yukibok's face. The connection is sickening, distorting the brawler's features as blood erupts from his mouth. Jo Young-pyo can only scream his partner's name in disbelief. Staggering back, Yukibok spits blood and curses, but Halu is already pressing his advantage. Jo Young-pyo is paralyzed, realizing with dawning horror that Halu's speed is inhuman. Halu stomps forward! He grabs Yukibok by the hair and drives a devastating knee straight into his gut. The brawler's world explodes in pain as he coughs up a spray of blood. Halu holds the now dazed fighter up by his scalp, his expression cold and merciless. Seeing his partner being brutalized, Jo Young-pyo's fist clenches tight. His shock finally shatters, replaced by a furious, desperate roar. The sound echoes through the empty shower room, but Halu doesn't even look over, his grip tightening on the now limp form of Yukibok. Jo Young-pyo screams his partner's name, his voice raw with desperation. You dare! But Halu finally turns his gaze on him, offering a chilling choice. Your turn, or should I leave? Ignoring him, Jo Young-pyo lets out another furious roar. He tries to rally his fallen partner, lying to both him and himself. It's okay. You were just a bit careless. Then he squares up to Halu, his fists raised. You think we're just some amateurs? He makes a grim promise. I'm going to make you beg me to kill you. But Halu's response is not what he expects. My grandma probably hasn't gone to heaven yet. She may still be around me. The personal taunt hits its mark and Jo Young-pyo completely snaps. Losing all reason, Jo Young-pyo lunges forward, smashing a furious right hook into Halu's face. He follows up with another brutal blow to the body. And then another. He unleashes a relentless barrage, but Halu just stands there, absorbing every single hit. Jo Young-pyo is stunned. What? He just took 3 of my best shots in a row! But as Halu finally looks up, his expression isn't one of pain, but of chilling understanding. I know how you feel, he says. You want to scream, to appeal to the dead. His eyes burn with an unnerving intensity as he makes a terrifying offer. Today I will help you. Jo Young-pyo is seething. This bastard, what the hell are you talking about? He screams, as he and a recovering Yukibok launch a coordinated 2-on-1 assault. Grabbing Halu by the hair, Jo Young-pyo roars, It doesn't matter how competent or how strong you are. You are only a loser! But Halu's eyes are utterly unimpressed, mocking the so-called pro. Jo Young-pyo slams Halu's head down with brutal force, yelling, Like this! The impact sends blood flying, but to Halu, the attack feels exactly the same. Baby, Jo Young-pyo sneers, thinking he's won. But through the curtain of blood, Halu's hand shoots out, catching Jo Young-pyo's wrist. His grip tightens like a steel trap. Stunned, Jo Young-pyo can only stammer, Huh? What? Halu meets his confusion with a manic grin, locking their hands in a test of strength. Ha 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 ha! What, bastard? Do you want to prove your power? Halu, blood dripping down his face, delivers a chilling promise. From now on, you'll only use these hands for holding a spoon. Jo Young-pyo flashes a disbelieving grin. Is that real? Halu's grip tightens. The pressure intensifies, knuckles turning white. A sickening crunch echoes through the showers as Halu puts his entire body into it, and Jo Young-pyo lets out a blood-curdling scream. Pure, unadulterated agony. The MMA prodigy can only watch in horror as his prized hand is systematically destroyed. With both opponents now neutralized, Halu stands over them, a silent, terrifying predator. Damn it! You're crazy, Jo Young-pyo whimpers. But Halu isn't finished. He turns his attention to the downed Yuki Bok, grabbing his leg. He calmly places his foot on top of a nearby bucket, setting the stage for his next act of brutality. With a sickening crunch, Halu brings his full weight down, shattering Yuki Bok's leg over the bucket. "My leg! My leg!" Yuki Bok shrieks, his world dissolving into pure agony. A calculated, career-ending injury delivered without a shred of hesitation. The brutal finality of the blow. The two MMA prodigies, now just broken men, are left writhing on the shower floor. Halu looks down on his handiwork, his expression ice cold as he delivers a final curse. Live the rest of your life with a body like this. The scene abruptly shifts from the brutal prison to a lavish, traditional estate under the quiet night sky. A hand reaches for a cup of tea. We find ourselves in a meeting with the BIO Corporation's board of directors, where a woman in a hanbok weeps, saying, "In fact, there are a lot of talented individuals on the board of directors. That makes me feel reassured." Dabbing her tears, the woman reveals the dire situation. The chairman is in a coma, and the eldest son, Halu, is too immature and reckless to be trusted. She expresses her gratitude for their support, but the board members just bow their heads in somber silence. The tension is palpable. A heavy atmosphere hangs over the room. One of the directors finally speaks, reassuring her that they will ensure the chairman's absence won't negatively affect the company's operations. But a sharp-looking young man with a green tie cuts straight to the point, asking for the doctor's official prognosis. The truth is brutal. The chairman is only getting worse, and his recovery rate is practically zero. The directors offer their rehearsed condolences. With the grim news laid bare, the woman in hanbok looks up with sudden purpose and addresses one of the men directly. "CEO, no!" Then she makes her shocking request. "Could you take Halu out of the reformatory?" She argues that even in his coma, the chairman would want his son by his side. CEO No immediately reassures her, promising they will find a way to bring Halu back. The directors see her off in front of the grand estate. A man in a brown suit bows deeply and takes his leave. The woman in hanbok bids him farewell. As his luxury car pulls away, the man in the brown suit calls out to his driver, "Mr. Kim." His respectful demeanor vanishes, replaced by a cynical smirk as he asks a strange question. "Have you ever seen a woman crying so hard but her legs keep shivering?" The driver, Mr. Kim, is completely baffled by the question. The man recalls the meeting, where he noticed the woman in hanbok's legs were trembling uncontrollably beneath her dress. He scoffs, realizing her display of grief was a calculated performance, calling her an intrigant. In a flashback, the director with the green tie confronts the woman in hanbok, revealing he's her son by calling her mom and questioning why she wants Halu released. With a cunning smile, she cryptically replies, "Allies stay far, enemies stay close." Her son stares back intently, telling her to simply trust him and follow his lead. Back in the present, the doctor and nurse are dismissed for the night, leaving the woman in hanbok to look after the chairman alone. But once she's alone with her comatose husband, her mask of grief shatters, replaced by a single frustrated thought. "Fuck!" She admits to herself she's exhausted from having to fake her tears. Suddenly, the chairman's eyes fly open. He's not in a coma. He's conscious, paralyzed, and drooling in terror. She moves to the foot of his bed. Using a strap from her own handbook, she coldly binds his feet together. With her husband completely helpless, she stands over him, phone in hand as the bed begins to whir. The bed whirs to life, tilting upwards and hoisting the chairman's bound feet into the air. His world turns upside down, his eyes wide with pure, unadulterated terror. The woman in hanbok watches coldly as her husband hangs before her, completely helpless. Her composure finally shatters as she snarls, "Fucking old man!" As tears stream from his eyes, she continues her verbal assault. "Damn it! You have no reason to live! Why haven't you died yet?" She leans in, screaming at him to pass away quickly, complaining that she can't stand to watch him salivating all day. "You're disabled," she taunts. "Why do you have to suffer so much?" He can only weep in silent agony. His tears, however, only seem to pique her cruel curiosity. Crying again?" She leans in, confirming the most horrifying truth. "See? Your mouth can't open, but your head can absorb everything." Meanwhile, back at the correctional facility, Halu sits alone in his solitary cell, the prison's undisputed king. But as tears stream down his face, his internal monologue reveals a deep despair. This world is hell. Footsteps echo down the empty hall as he continues his thought, and I'm the one suffering in it. The footsteps stop, A key turns in the lock of his cell. A guard opens the door, ordering, "Follow me, Halu!" The officer then delivers the stunning news. "You are released." Halu is completely shocked. As he's escorted out, the prison erupts with whispers of disbelief. The untouchable Halu is being granted parole. As Halu walks the corridor, the inmates he once terrorized now cheer for him, calling him number one. They shout their respect, hoping to see the legend on the outside. But the commotion forces the guard to bang his baton on the bars, demanding silence. He turns to Halu with a smug grin, sarcastically commenting on his newfound fame. Halu ignores the taunt, his mind on one thing. What happened to Jo Yang Pyo and Yu Ki-bok? The guard glances back with a grim expression and delivers a single, shocking word. Dead. Halu's stoic facade finally cracks. The guard explains that a week after their fight, with their MMA careers destroyed and a murder case looming, the two committed suicide by jumping from the hospital roof. But Halu immediately rejects the official story, insisting they would have chosen life in prison over death. The guard is stunned by his certainty, stammering, "What are you saying? That someone killed them?" Halu coldly clarifies, "It wasn't me," before continuing with his grim philosophy. This world has a rule. To protect someone, you must hurt someone else. As he speaks, his civilian clothes are laid out for him. The world is what knocked them out, he concludes, shrugging off his prison shirt and revealing the massive tattoo covering his back. The guard is completely stunned, stammering at the sight. "That's not a common tattoo," he manages to say. He marvels at the ink, which seems to move like a living carp before a shocking detail is revealed. Halu is only 18 years old. Now changed into his tracksuit, Halu looks ready to face the outside world. The final heavy gate of the reformatory swings open, and with a single step, Halu is free. The sound of an engine cuts through the silence as headlights pierce the gloom. Halu remains completely unfazed. Two motorcycles skid to a halt, a boisterous man in a brown coat shouting a cheerful, "Hello!" A faint knowing smirk crosses Halu's face. The woman on the other bike is introduced as Park Jae-in. She and her companion approach with practiced ease. They stop directly in front of their target. The man quickly hops off, holding open a massive fur coat while Park Jae-in complains, "It's freezing, boss!" She expertly drapes the heavy coat over Halu's shoulders. Overcome with emotion, the man pulls Halu into a tight hug, crying out his name and a nickname. "Ba-pai!" But Halu isn't interested in a warm welcome. He immediately asks for the location of the guys from Nara High School, only for his associate to insist they need to leave. The boisterous man explains that 3 fighters from Nara Senior High have taken over their turf, and their own Gido school members are getting crushed. But a confident smile spreads across his face as he declares, "You were released just in time!" Park Jae-in agrees, beaming with relief, knowing that with Halu's return, their resurgence is guaranteed. Halu smirks, brushing off their concerns and sarcastically apologizing for being a bit busy, before declaring it's time to go. The scene cuts to a massive derelict construction site under the night sky. Inside, the sounds of a brutal fight echo. Grunts of pain and the thud of impacts fill the air. One of Halu's allies in a suit is sent crashing violently to the ground. As an enemy looms over him, the defeated man coughs, desperately asking, "Where is the fucking Yumba Pai?" The Nara Senior High fighters stand victorious over the crumpled bodies of the Gido school as the defeated ally curses them from the ground. Their leader, a guy with a sharp bowl cut, seethes with impatience, demanding to know why Halu hasn't shown up. But the defeated ally in suit, despite being bloodied and bruised, grins defiantly, promising to pick them off one by one to draw their target out. The leader scoffs, finding the idea that Yumba Pai is hiding out of fear absolutely hilarious. Another member chimes in with a rumor. Halu is avoiding fights because his new girlfriend doesn't like bloody scenes, a theory they find hysterical. But the ally struggles to his knees, his faith unshaken. "No worries," he says. "He'll surely come here today." With a bloody, confident smirk, he adds a chilling caveat. "The problem is, the Halu will also be coming." The name hits the Nara fighters like a physical blow, their smug expressions instantly replaced with shock and confusion. He straightens his tie, laying out the terrifying truth. "Today is his parole day. The only reason you guys could repress our school is because Halu wasn't here." The Nara Senior High leader's face contorts with anger, a single bead of sweat betraying his shock. "Damn it!" Panic spreads through his ranks as another fighter asks in disbelief, "Is Halu really coming here?" The defeated ally in suit just smirks, wiping blood from his chin. Doesn't matter how tough you think you are. Your only choice now is to swallow your pride. Losing his composure, the Nara leader roars, "Shut up, you bastard!" He unleashes a vicious beatdown, screaming with false bravado, "Fine, let him come. We'll just beat him up on this occasion." A brutal kick sends the defiant ally flying. Turning to his top two fighters, the leader tries to rally them. "Kichan, Young-ho, how are you feeling? Are you ready?" Kichan forces a determined look, gritting his teeth. "Of course, I'm always ready to finish it." Young-ho adds with a sneer, "He's just one guy, I'll defeat him." At that very moment, the deep rumble of engines echoes through the site as two motorcycles appear at the entrance, their headlights piercing the gloom. The beaten Gaido members look up, their faces a mixture of shock and dawning hope. "He's here!" one of them gasps. "He's really arrived!" Riding in with an aura of absolute dominance is Halu, the infamous Yumba Pai, with Park Jae-in and the Gaido leader right beside him. The Nara leader's face hardens, his earlier arrogance completely gone. Kichan and Young-ho, who were just boasting, now sweat bullets as reality sinks in. The collective bravado of the Nara gang shatters. "Oh, sht." Whispers of disbelief and fear spread through their ranks. "He really came!" As the defeated Gaido members kneel in reverence, the two sides face off, the headlights cutting through the tension. Halu's gaze is like ice, a silent promise of the violence to come. He swings a leg over his bike, dismounting with cold purpose as the Nara leader can only stare, the name Halu echoing in his mind. Park Jae-in points out the enemy's top fighters. Nara High School's super celebs, Choi Kiho, Kichan, and Young-ho. Trying to mask his fear, the Nara leader, Choi Kiho, laughs. "Yeah, sure. Let's check if you're as good as the rumors." The boisterous man in brown coat sees right through the act, sneering, "Ha ha! They've already peed their pants out of fear." Halu ignores the posturing and issues a simple, bone-chilling command. "Knee down!" His voice is cold as steel. "And then, I'll think of forgiving you for sparking a conflict without my permission." His eyes narrow, delivering the final humiliating demand. "But you must crawl on your knees and beg for forgiveness." Choi Kiho breaks into a cold sweat. "Hanryu, that bastard!" Kichan is completely intimidated. His charisma is insane. Young-ho can feel his courage failing. "Shit, my heart is trembling." But with his pride on the line, Choi Kiho finds his voice and screams back, "Don't talk crazy!" Choi Kiho continues his defiant roar. "Do we look like nobodies to you?" Halu's response is cold and simple. "Yeah." Before the words even register, Halu explodes forward, driving a fist deep into Choi Kiho's gut. The Nara leader gags, spitting up a mouthful of blood. Halu grabs his head, holding him up just long enough to dismiss him with a single word. "Next." He casually drops the unconscious leader and advances on the others, who can only stare in disbelief. This bastard." One of the lieutenants snaps out of his shock and throws a desperate punch, but Halu catches the fist with ease, stopping the attack dead in its tracks. With a sharp, brutal twist, he shatters the man's arm, leaving him screaming in agony as Halu looks on, completely unfazed. But another Nara fighter, a big bruiser with a top knot, steps up and throws a heavy punch. He connects with a powerful blow to Halu's stomach. While the others are still groaning on the ground, Halu just smirks, completely unfazed. "You've got some backing, so you can put up a bit of a fight." The condescending remark sends the top knot fighter into a rage. "This son of a bitch!" He swings again, throwing a wild haymaker. But Halu ducks under the attack with ease, grabbing the man's arm and pulling him off balance. The fighter's face twists in disbelief. "What?" In a flash, Halu spins behind him and delivers a brutal knee strike directly to his lower back. The top knot fighter lets out a guttural scream as the knee strike cripples him. The remaining Nara fighters are frozen in terror, muttering about Halu's brutal cruelty. In less than 30 seconds, the notorious leaders of Nara Senior High are all left groaning on the dirt. The boisterous man in the brown coat laughs, calling out, "Umbabe, why are you playing around with trash like that?" He closes his eyes with a serene smile, adding, "I'm in love right now. I only want to see a beautiful, lovely world." Halu ignores the joke, his expression hardening as he asks, "What about the regional alliance situation?" The man's playful mood evaporates. "It's not that simple." He explains that every school except their own has joined the alliance, making them stronger than ever. Halu looks genuinely confused. Weren't they just whining and sniveling punks? His friend's face turns grim as he reveals the real problem. Now, there's a national-level player involved. Halu demands to know who. His friend reveals the name Hagirong. He's the one who took over everything. He continues, explaining that Hagirong controls multiple regional alliances, turning them into his personal slaves, but there's a catch. We can't touch him. Halu is baffled. Why? The boisterous man leans in, asking a chilling question. Do you know who Hagirong's higher-up is? A flash of understanding. The answer is revealed. A pink-haired monster named Goho from Busan Wushu High School, known as the strongest in the nation. The image of this new apex predator hangs in the air between them. His friend warns him that Goho suddenly expanding his influence all the way to Seoul is highly unusual. Halu looks up, accepting his fate. He's someone I'll have to face eventually, whether I want to or not. But then Halu gives a shocking order. I'll hit Hagirong first. You take care of Goho and crush him. The boisterous man is having none of it, flatly telling Halu to count him out. Halu is stunned. He dramatically declares he's in love now and only wants to see beautiful things, not get his face smashed in by the strongest in the nation. Halu isn't buying his friend's pathetic excuse, demanding to know who he's supposedly dating. He leaps onto his friend's back, locking him in a chokehold and screaming that he's the only one from their school who can stand up to Hagirong, so there are no excuses. As the two wrestle, Park Jae-in arrives, calmly announcing that they've cleaned up the area. Halu finally lets go, praising Park Jae-in for her good work while his friend stumbles away, gasping for air. She invites him to a party she's prepared to celebrate his release. But Halu's expression turns serious. He declines, saying he needs to go home and see his father. He promises they'll celebrate next time, but for now, family comes first. Halu accepts her understanding, simply saying, "All right then, Park Jae-in gives him a warm, knowing smile. As they part ways, she cheerfully calls out, "See you at school tomorrow, Umbabe." Speeding off on his motorcycle, Halu's thoughts turn dark, hoping his father hasn't weakened while trapped between that vixen and snake. His own mother and brother. He races through the city nightscape, arriving at a towering skyscraper. Meanwhile, elsewhere, behind a VIP door at Nara Technical High, a report is being made. A powerful figure discusses the so-called super celebrities Halu just faced. The man on the phone is none other than Goho, the pink-haired monster from Busan, who learns that his pawns were destroyed the moment Halu appeared. A subordinate nervously confirms the news, reporting that all three leaders were taken down in less than 30 seconds, a fact that only brings a confident smirk to Goho's face. Unfazed, Goho scoffs. Sounds like they're not super celebrities, just nobody celebrities. He casually asks his subordinate about his top man, Hagirong. The subordinate reports that Hagirong is on standby at a motel with his crew. Goho begins to issue his command. "Tell him, right now!" Then, with an insane display of power, Goho lifts himself into a one-handed handstand and gives the order. "Hit Umbabe tomorrow. It doesn't matter how many guys he brings." With cold calculation, he adds, "He must capture him. If we break even one wing, he won't be able to fly." The subordinate understands and is promptly dismissed. He gives a deep, respectful bow. The order has been given. Still holding his impossible handstand, Goho roars out the name of his new obsession, "Halu!" With a twisted, upside-down grin, he makes a chilling promise. "I'm going to love the hell out of you from now on. You'll have fun, too." The scene shifts to a lavish estate under the cover of night. Halu has arrived home. Waiting for him are the vixen and the snake, his mother and brother, who greet him with a sickeningly sweet, "Welcome home, Ryu!" His mother lays the act on thick, feigning concern for all the hardship he's endured. But Halu cuts right through the facade with a single cold question. "Where's father?" Her smile never wavers as she tells him his father is in his room, brushing past her stone-faced son. But beneath the surface, her mask cracks, revealing her true feelings as she thinks, "That shameless bitch." And watching the entire exchange, Halu's brother can't hide his smug satisfaction. Halu enters his father's room, the cold mask he wore for his family replaced by a look of solemn concern. "Father," he says softly, his voice heavy with emotion. He looks down at the frail, unresponsive chairman, telling him, "I'm finally out." In a profound show of respect and regret, Halu performs a deep, formal bow, apologizing for not being by his side. But as he does, there's a flicker of life in the old man. The chairman's eye snaps open. He's been conscious this whole time. Halu rushes to the bedside, taking his father's hand as the paralyzed man struggles to force out a warning. With impossible strength, his father's hand clamps down on his. Tears stream down the chairman's face as he finally chokes out the word he's been trying to say, "Out!" A single tear falls from Halu's eye, the full weight of his father's silent, helpless torment crashing down on him. The scene shifts to the past, showing a much younger Halu walking home in his school uniform. Suddenly, a van pulls up and he's violently dragged inside. A knife is pressed to his throat as the kidnappers snarl, "Stay quiet, kid, unless you want your throat sliced open." They make the ransom call to the BIO Corporation estate, reaching Halu's father. The chairman, Han Tan-ho, listens with fury as they explain they have his eldest son. He explodes into the phone, "Do you all want to die? Do you think Han Tan-ho is someone you can mess with?" As his wife and younger son watch in the background, the kidnapper tries to calm him down. But the chairman unleashes a terrifying promise. "If you lay a single finger on my son Han Ryu, I'll hunt down and wipe out 9 generations of your family." He lays down his terms. No police, no negotiation, return him in 3 days or you're all dead. The kidnappers are completely stunned by his intense, violent reaction, looking down at the boy and asking, "Damn, what kind of father is this?" The kidnapper desperately tries to regain control, pleading, "Just give us a modest 1 billion. We'll release him right away." But Han Tan-ho is disgusted by the very idea of negotiating. 1 billion? His rage explodes. "Don't talk shit, you bastards!" He makes his one and only demand, his voice like cold steel. "Let me talk to my son." Annoyed but intimidated, the kidnappers shove the phone towards the boy on the ground. With tears streaming down his face, a young Halu whispers into the phone, "Dad." But his father's words aren't for him. They're a death sentence for his captors. "Listen carefully. Since you've seen those bastards, whether I send the money or not, you're dead either way." He then makes a chilling promise directly to his son as the kidnappers listen in horror. "You might die," he states calmly. "But if you do, I will find their families and get revenge for you. I'll tear their bloodlines to shreds so thoroughly that no one will even find their bodies." Absolute terror dawns on the kidnapper's face. The kidnappers are completely stunned. A terrified young Halu can only whisper his father's name, but Han Tan-ho's command is as cold as ice. "So, die with dignity." And in a moment that defines him, Halu looks up, his fear replaced by resolve, and says, "Okay, Dad." The kidnapper snatches the phone back, screaming in disbelief, "This is crazy! Are you really going to let your son die?" Han Tan-ho's expression doesn't change. "Go ahead. I'll do the same to you." A heavy silence falls over the warehouse as the men realize he's not bluffing. Finally snapping, the lead kidnapper pulls a knife, roaring, "Fine, damn it, we'll kill him!" But his partner grabs his arm, shouting in terror, "Are you crazy? Han Tan-ho is a guy who came up from the gutters himself." "He's not bluffing," the other kidnapper says, sweating. "Those rich bastards are worse than us. If we kill this kid, our families are dead too." The leader snaps, screaming about some crazy bitch who set them up. Hearing this, a chilling thought crosses young Halu's mind. There was someone else involved, and just like that, the ordeal is over. Halu is unceremoniously dumped in front of his family's mansion. His family rushes out, his father, Han Tan-ho, leading the charge as Halu can only whisper, "Dad." He stares, still in shock. His mother pulls him into a tight embrace, crying out, "Ryu, how much you must have suffered." But as she holds him, a horrifying memory flashes in his mind. He remembers seeing his mother, happily clapping and singing with another man surrounded by expensive gifts. Halu realizes this is her true nature, the primal, predatory scent this woman gives off. In his mind, she becomes a horrifying demon, her true self revealed. The young boy is paralyzed with fear. But in reality, she just smiles, taking his trembling hand and promising to make him something delicious. The memory continues. A month after his release, the kidnappers were all found dead in the mountains. His father, the chairman, then sat him down, declaring his intent to make Halu a strong man, stating that school was no longer important. Halu's mother puts on a show, pleading with her husband, "Where are you taking this child? I'll raise him well." But the chairman's decision is absolute. No! And so, Halu was sent to the countryside for 3 years. Upon his return, a conspiracy landed him in juvenile detention for 6 months. He finally returned to the family estate, but his mother is listening from just outside the door, seething. "Those bastards! What the hell are they scheming?" Her eyes widen in shock. Inside, Halu squeezes his father's hand. Don't worry, father. He pulls the frail man into a hug, vowing, I'll protect you now, just as you've protected me all this time. The chairman is completely overwhelmed by the sudden show of loyalty. His eyes dart in disbelief. But through the crack in the door, Halu's mother sees only a demon. Her true face emerges, twisted with rage. Hanryu! I have to kill that brat. Without fail. The battle for the future of BIO Corporation is now underway. The next day, we cut to Gedo Technical High School. A group of unwelcome visitors surveys the grounds with sarcastic awe. I can't believe a shitty old school like this still exists in Seoul, one sneers. It's completely rotten. This is Hagirong, the national-level player sent by Goho. When asked what he's looking at, he replies coolly, movement routes. His men are confused, and clearly skeptical, but Hagirong explains his tactical approach. They must know the battlefield from above, including all escape and retreat paths. One of his subordinates scoffs, It's just Umbabe, not even Halu. Do we really need to be this tense? Hagirong's expression doesn't change. Umbabe is strong, he states plainly. He then delivers a shocking assessment. Even if you two and I fought him 3-on-1, I couldn't guarantee we'd win. His subordinate can't believe it, shouting, Don't talk nonsense! But Hagirong is dead serious. It makes sense, he insists. He's a hidden powerhouse. His men are stunned, completely shocked. He then reveals the core of his reasoning. Umbabe, as we cut to a new stylish fighter casually walking with his earbuds in, Hagirong's voiceover continues, has never lost a single fight until now.